Hi guys, Chef Kevin Belton here. Hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Now, today I felt like something different, and I hope Monica's gonna like this because we're gonna do some honey chicken. Now, what I have going on, I've got some things already started, okay? Basically, I took chicken thighs, and you can do this with chicken breasts, cut them in 1-inch cubes. I seasoned them with a little white pepper and salt. Now, I did that earlier. Then, what I did for the batter now, I am going with something that I've had this at a Chinese restaurant before, so that's why I figured, hey, why not try something different? So our batter is different because our batter is like a 1/2 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, just a pinch of salt, a little pinch of baking powder, 1 egg yolk, egg white, all right? A couple tablespoons of oil, and a 1/2 cup of cold water. Now, you notice I have this sitting in water. Sitting on ice. See the ice down there? I had this in the refrigerator. Now, I put the chicken in and had it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes, all right? One of the things that you really have to understand is that things fry better cold. That's why you want the bowl sitting on ice so it stays cold, and they fry better cold. So here, I have the oil hot. I'm going to try to get our chicken in as quick as possible. And you know, you don't want to dump it all in at once because you don't want it to clump up. You want it to try to stay separate. So it takes a little bit of just kind of working kind of quick. And you can see this is almost, it's not the same like a tempura batter, but you can see it is much thicker. All right.
Tell people what the cornstarch is for.
The cornstarch actually helps things get really crispy when you fry. When you fry something and you want it super crispy, that's when you use cornstarch. And that's something I've been doing a lot in my cooking. Even when I do traditional Louisiana dishes, I've been using a lot of cornstarch in with my flour, just because of the fact that it allows it to get so crispy. Now, I'm going to move this off to the side because I don't want to overcrowd the pan, okay? Now, while this, I'm going to just take this. See how that's kind of clumping together a little bit? That's okay. We can just break it apart.
Say hi to Claire.
Hi, Claire. How are you? Oh, I tell you what, gang, this smells so good. And you know what? I don't mind them clumping together, but you know what? I guess when we get ready to make this sauce, we want to make sure it's separate. Now, while this is frying, let me show you what I have going on over here, okay? Because this is going to be the sauce. I have 1/3 cup of honey. I have 1/3 cup of water with a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar and rice vinegar. Now, if you've never seen rice vinegar, it's called mirin, all right? Rice wine vinegar, you might hear it referred to, but sometimes in this type cooking, it adds a little bit of a sweet flavor. So what I have here, we're gonna make, this is our honey sauce, so we're gonna add our water, our apple cider, and that rice wine vinegar in here. We're just going to get this stirred together because hence you can see this is part of where that honey chicken comes from. All right. Oh, look, I tell you what, we are getting such a golden brown color on that.
Say hi to Deborah Maria.
Hi, Deborah Maria. How are you?
Maria.
Oh, Deborah and Maria.
Yes.
How are you guys doing? I tell you what, I don't know where you all are, but I tell you what, it's kind of a rainy day here, and I think this is going to make a really appetizing lunch for a nice little rainy day treat. Now, you notice I didn't get all of that chicken in. I have, if you notice, you can see how much I have left, okay? I may put this back in the refrigerator and do this later on tonight. I mean, there's no reason why that can't sit in there. As long as you keep it cold and as long as you keep it refrigerated, it should be fine, okay? So if you want to go ahead and do it all at once, or for this purposes here, I could fry another batch Okay, if you're doing it at home, you can fry another batch before you make it all. But I don't want you all to have to wait that long to see the final product. So look, this is nice and golden now. Doesn't that look great? Because I had the oil really, really hot. I had the oil heating up actually right before we started. And we just want it really hot. So let's turn this down some. And all I'm doing is draining on paper towels. And you're going to see why I have that pan there in just a second. Okay? Now, normally, when I fry something, I always sprinkle a little salt on it right away. It's important when you fry something to put a little salt on it right away. That way it adheres, it sticks. But for this, we don't need that. We had a tiny bit of salt in the batter. All right? And we're going to make this with honey. So that's why we don't need that. Now, Monica, you're going to have to back up just a second. Gang, this is where we're careful because I want to get rid of this hot oil. So I'm going to pour the oil in a pan I have sitting here. This is where you're kind of careful. I just need to keep a couple of tablespoons of it. Let me just give the side of the pan a quick wipe, just in case I had anything down on there. And you know, gang, when you're looking for something, you can never find it. You know, my wok utensils, I can't find. I don't know where I put them. So here we go. In a little minced garlic. You can see that oil is really hot. And this garlic only has to go in just long enough to where you get that aroma from it. And I tell you what, it smells so good right now. Now, let's go in with our honey, our water, and to help thicken this up, what this is cornstarch with a little water. I had 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of water. So we're going to put that in, and that's going to add a nice thickness for us. Now, all we have to do is stir this around. You're going to see on this heat that water is going to start to evaporate. That cornstarch helps make this sauce get nice and thick. You can see how thick it is already. All right. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn the fire down a little bit. Now, this is where it's a little important, okay? It's really hot, but take a little taste of it. This is where you can go with a little salt. And you notice, I'm just putting it, instead of dipping the spoon in, I'm just dripping a little bit on the spoon. Oh, that's fine. Because you can either go, at this point, you can add either a little salt or add a little sugar to it. So now, we take our chicken, and let's just put right back in. And you know what's going to happen.
Then I'm going to eat the crispy bits.
You're going to eat the crispy bits. So now all we have to do is toss this really nice. I can turn the fire off. We just want to get this nice tossed and coated. Oh, I tell you what, you know, I use more garlic than I wrote in the recipe because we both love garlic. So when you make this, gang, you can use the amount of garlic that the recipe calls for, or you can do like I did and do a lot more. So I had cooked a little rice earlier. I'm just going to put this right on top of our rice. And I cooked the rice in some chicken stock. That's why it has that color to it.
With the floating garlic.
With garlic, yes. I always put a little garlic in my rice when I cook it, because it just adds a flavor, gets nice and soft. Okay, here we go. Stick that there, our fire's out. To finish this off, how about a little sesame seeds? These are some toasted sesame seeds. Hey guys, I don't know if you all ever make bread, But I tell you what, I love sesame seeds on bread because as the bread bakes, that oil from the sesame seeds that it heats up drips down into the bread and gives it a wonderful flavor. A little bit of green onion. Okay. And how about that? How is that for some honey chicken? I always have I got to clean off the plates. You know, down in Louisiana, we call this the gras-doux. You want to clean that gras-doux off the plate. But there we have a nice, quick, homemade honey chicken. Remember, get yourself some mirror and some rice wine. It adds a sweet flavor. If I used apple cider vinegar, if you want to use a red wine vinegar or a different type vinegar, it'll change the flavor up a little bit. But you get the idea of this. Oh, I tell you what, I can't wait to taste this. It smells wonderful. So I hope this will help you out on a nice rainy afternoon. I know for us, as soon as we finish, Monica's going to jump in this plate. So I'm sorry.
I'm gonna take a picture of it first.
You're going to take a picture of it first, then you're going to jump into the plate. Okay, I hope you all are doing safe. Keep washing those hands, keep masking up, doing what you're doing. I appreciate you cooking with me and allowing me to come on into your house for a little time. Thank you for spending time with me. I'm Chef Kevin Belton for WWL. Have yourself a fantastic day. We'll see you soon.